Good morning, everybody. This started popping up last night as I was getting ready for bed, and I thought, wow, this is a big deal. And Sinclair's tweeting, quote, at 99 free mind. That's amazing, Polly, if you don't know. Is Trudeau going to start confiscating firearms from Canadians? What happens if law-abiding gun owners don't comply? The Liberals' secret plan to ban legal firearms without parliamentary debate. If I hadn't seen this and had so many people tweeting about this, and this is a big deal, like I've got an Instagram video to show you, etc. I couldn't find it in question period, and usually question period's an hour long. This is only 45 minutes, so I couldn't find this question in question period. It was supposed to be there. Maybe I got the wrong day. I don't know, but I watched the whole thing. I'll show you a bit from question period today, but I'm going to show you, I think on the Instagram, I'll show you the Instagram video first. But this is Tony Clement calling the government out. I think the Instagram's louder. That's why I'm using it. Okay, here we go.
Secret plan.
Wow, shame.
Honorable Minister of Border Security.
No, we're going to go back to the Twitter one because it's got the whole thing.
Has authority that the Prime Minister has a secret plan to ban legal firearms. Apparently, this plan is to be executed by cabinet directive with no debate in Parliament. Shame. The Prime Minister plans to announce this gun ban at the Women Deliver conference held in early June in Vancouver, where New Zealand Prime Minister Ardern will also attend. Can the Prime Minister confirm or deny this zero accountability secret plan?
Wow, shame.
Honorable Minister of Border Security.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I just want to assure this House that our government remains absolutely committed to taking all the measures that are effective in keeping Canadians safe. And as I believe every member of this House will agree, there is no greater responsibility for any order of government than this.
And that's where it cuts off. So I went to look for the whole question in the May 9th question period, but no dice, no joy. It wasn't there. Maybe I got the time index wrong. Maybe I just didn't see it. I'm a little more than halfway through, but I scrubbed through the video looking for the snippet, right? I wanted to show you on YouTube and I couldn't find it. If I found it, I would have shown it to you, but it's not, as far as I can see, it's not there. So that's strange. That's strange, right? And especially strange that they're planning a gun ban, a blanket gun ban now to be announced in June. I don't understand. Do they think that they have the ability to do this unilaterally without debate in Parliament, without passing a new law? They can just ban guns in Canada? There are a lot of hunters who want to hunt. There are a lot of people like me who are potentially interested in the hobby. I've never gone before. I think it'd be cool. But it's interesting and offensive, really, that this is in the pipe before the election, right before summer. And right before summer is a good time to drop something like this because people forget, right? Like you go through the summer and you forget about it, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know how you're going to forget about a gun ban. Wow. So the particulars of this are not known. What's going on next is not known. Bill Blair, not Tony Blair. Tony Blair is the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Bill Blair is the person answering the question here. He doesn't say no. He says, we're going to do everything necessary to keep Canadians safe, including taking your guns away to keep you safe. That's not the source of the danger. And that's provably not the source of the danger. Illegal guns are very different than legal guns in Canada. And taking away legal guns or banning legal guns does very little to prevent any gang warfare or criminal guns or criminal gun running, especially with the leaky border we've got in Quebec. Roxham Road, right? It's incredible. It's offensive. This government is offensive. This government is awful. I wanted to show you question period. This is a good question from a conservative, and I can't remember his name, but his name is going to pop up in just a minute. This question period, the first 12 minutes or so, has all been about Mark Norman and what this government has done to him. I was looking for a really concise kind of here's the story in about a minute and a half, and well, here's what I found. Link is in the description if you want to watch the whole thing. And it's fiery. There's lots of back and forth. Liberals are trying a new tact, but they're still reading their scripts. Like they've got a script of things to say. There's things they're allowed to say, and this is how they're supposed to answer certain questions, which is why they give the same answer a bunch of times, because if it falls into a certain category, SNC, they have like 3 answers to give on SNC. And I've shown this before. But anyway, Bill Blair's reading his answers, and so are a lot of other Liberals. They've got paper there and they're reading. But watch this question from a conservative whose name will be on the screen in just a minute.
The honourable member for Durham.
Order.
Speaker, as that member should know, the Prime Minister asked for an investigation of the leak. 73 names were found to have known about the leak, but only one name was handed to the RCMP, Admiral Mark Norman. Without that investigation, Mr. Speaker, he would not have been relieved of command. Without that direction from the Prime Minister's office, he would not have lost his job, his reputation, and spent 2 years fighting for the vindication he had yesterday. Will that member stand in this House and apologize to Admiral Mark Norman?
We're not going to listen to the response because the response is no, essentially. Do you guys remember yesterday when Michelle Rempel, or I guess it was a couple of days ago, but I reported on it yesterday, Michelle Rempel got on board this silly story train, and she said this type of discrimination has no place in Canadian society. No one should be discriminated against because of their sexual orientation. Nobody was, Michelle. And as I said, nobody cares about your sexual orientation in Canada. Absolutely nobody. Your sexual orientation will not expel you or remove you from being able to stand for a job or for political office or anything like that. In fact, it would be much more problematic if you wore a MAGA hat around, I think, nowadays than proclaimed that you were someone of the LGBT2 or whatever variety, right? It is absolutely a non-issue unless you make it an issue. But Michelle tried to jump on board, trying to pillory the People's Party by saying they definitely expelled this person because he's gay. And, well, that's not true and has been debunked by a bunch of different sources. Here's Maxime Bernier tweeting about this, quote, 1. I've been denouncing left-wing activists masquerading as, quote, journalists who write hit pieces about the PPC. Here we have an SJW masquerading as a, quote, conservative, MP using one of those hit pieces to virtue signal as a liberal would. How's your friend, Morgan? At Michelle Rempel. And this is the tweet that I can't see, but it's the tweet I just showed you. And so this is Bernier's response to it, right? And number 2, he says, for those who want to hear another side to this story about a PPC nomination contestant who was presumably expelled for being gay, watch this video. And I watched this video, and this person is friends with Jason. Jason, I think is his name. Hold on. Is that his name? Jordan. His name is Jordan. Sorry. So this guy is friends with Jordan and just says he travels from party to party, and when he doesn't get his way, he talks poorly about the other party. So this guy is not to be trusted, really. Back to Bernier. Number 3, he says, let me be very clear on this. PPC has several candidates, EDAs, execs, and staff who are gay. We welcome them not because we have a gay quota to fill, but because they share our principles and policies. Their sexuality, just like their gender or ethnicity, is irrelevant. Number 4, my staff and I were being asked for comments about this silly and unfounded story this week. Again, memo to journalists, write your trashy hit pieces if you want, but stop harassing us. We're not going to help you give you any credibility to your fake news about us. And so that's interesting. Again, just the 4-piece tweet there. And here's more about this. He says, so fake news that started as, quote, PPC candidate expelled for being gay ends up being a totally different story after journalists do their job. Don't believe any of the hit pieces about PPC being intolerant. It's all leftist propaganda or shoddy journalism. And it says social media spat, not homophobia, claimed as reason for nomination disqualification. And it says a spat on social media, not sexual orientation, is what caused a young gay man to be disqualified as a potential candidate for Canada's newest political party. There you go. And I'm not going to go through that article. If you want to read it, you can check out the link in the description. You can read it for yourself. This story is kind of about Michelle Rempel and her blocking everybody. So here's Maxime again. And he says, quote, now that this story has been debunked, will left-wing activist masquerading as conservative MP Michelle Rempel tweet a retraction? Or will she just keep blocking everyone who criticizes her? We'll know after she calls Morgan for advice at Michelle Rempel. And this is, actually, I don't know what this is in response to. Oh, probably the same. I'm going to find out. Hold on. Yeah, it's in response to the same tweet. So he's just responding to the same one. And he says, as I said, she wants to court the far left, but doesn't want real conservatives to follow about it. This is another tweet from Maxime Bernier. And this is Sid complaining about being blocked by Michelle Rempel for saying that she's supporting an authoritarian trans activist. So that'll get you a block. And here's another one. Maxime saying she doesn't want you to see all the SJW nonsense she tweets to appeal to the left-wingers. Part of the Tory strategy is to split the LibCon vote and replace the Liberals. It could create a backlash among real conservatives if it becomes too obvious. And this is a block. And as I reported yesterday, the response to Ms. Rempel's tweet was not very popular. And rightly so, in my opinion, because I don't know that one EDA having a problem like this, or like anything else, there's been a few EDAs that have had issues, people, execs replaced, etc. These things happen when you're putting something like this together. Across the country has vastly different needs, vastly different people, but still we can all have the same values and beliefs, etc., and join the party. But there are going to be growing pains when you do it in the timeline that the People's Party is trying to accomplish it in. Again, I don't know that a bump like this is a death knell to a party. I think it happens. I think scandal is part of politics. I think that it is used by opponents and expected by all parties. Like you're waiting for the scandal, and when the scandal happens, not if, because it's when, you have to roll with it. You have to deal with it the way it comes at you. And piling on like this before the story's really fresh, like the allegation is right there, and that's a pretty big one, saying the party dismissed me because of my sexual orientation in Canada. That's a big, to me, that would be a red flag. That's the first thing that made me go, really? You're going to go with, that's the allegation? You're going to say they dismissed you because you were gay? Okay, man, but you can't prove that. Prove it, please. But it's very difficult to prove, and especially I looked at the evidence he was bandying about. And evidence is not Facebook messages, in my opinion. But I mean, maybe some people will be swayed by that, and that's fine. But they can be faked very easily, number one. And number two, context matters. What's the rest of the conversation? And that was what was missing in these conversations that I saw. Anyway, again, so it's interesting to jump right on this bandwagon. Michelle Rempel, representing the Conservative Party of Canada. It seems divisive. It seems like a bad choice, and the people in the comment section agree with me. So, and who knows? Maybe it's a calculated choice. Maybe they want to occupy that middle so completely that they sweep Quebec and Ontario just like the Liberals did in 2015. But I don't think it's going to work out that way, because the way they do this seems too calculated. It doesn't seem genuine, in my opinion. And that's been my problem with them since last August. Since I've been doing my show. Andrew Scheer has frustrated me. Go back and just search Andrew Scheer in my channel, and there's a bunch of reasons why it just frustrates me the way this party is being run and managed. Anyway, this is another example. Harper, I don't think, would have allowed this to go out, because what's the purpose? Unfounded. You're getting behind this? Come on. Makes you look like unserious at the very best, I think. Okay, that's enough for me. Have a wonderful day. Check out thepeoplespartyofcanada.ca, because, well, I'm sick and tired of this BS. I really am. The SJW garbage, the divisive politics, the divisive language, the nana feel of what's going on in our political discord. Justin Trudeau is an abject failure and should be very easy to beat. So, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.